had to record this morning. I literally just woke up and had this dream about the end times and the chip. It took place to where I even saw the devil's plots of what he was about to do. He literally took me into his kingdom and he showed me how he's going to have so many strong spirits of sexual immorality, of sex, of homosexuals, of people that it's going to be a huge spirit. He said they're going to be stronger. He's going to try to make them stronger than the angels, and they're going to go around the earth and possess people and make them turn away from God. He showed me his throne. He showed me all of the plans that he's about to do, and he did not care that I was able to see and know his plan. It was like when he brought me there, and he had like this book to where he had all his plans of what he was going to do on the earth and cause people not to go to God. And he bit me, and when he bit me, it just felt like sharp pain going through my skin. I remember just screaming so loud in terror when he bit me, and he kept telling me his plans, and then I was sent back into my body on earth. And I remember I was gonna go tell people what the devil's plots were, the things that he were about to do. And as I was about to make the video, I kept getting distracted. People didn't understand I was having issues with my camera. And then all of a sudden, I looked outside and the world was falling apart. It was like everything was going by so fast. It was like time was speeding up. The clouds was just popping up. It's things falling from the sky. It just was like things was growing faster. Time had started to fast forward. Everything went by so fast. And then I remember, as time was going by so fast, I just started crying, and I'm saying, Jesus is coming. This is it. Why isn't nobody praying? Why is nobody not doing anything? People were distracted. No one paid attention. And I just remember it was pitch black. It was complete darkness when I looked outside. It was no stars, no sun, no moon. It just turned black so fast. And I remember being in a room with two of my family members, and I grabbed my Bible and I just started crying out to God, and I started praying, and I just read my Bible and I held on to it, and I just didn't know what else to do except to cry and pray and read. And then I remember these people coming into the house, and they were people who were giving out the chip, the mark. And this chip was so small. It was about the size of like a paper clip. Not a paper clip, a staple. And there was a man who came in, and you had an option. It wasn't forced on you. It wasn't forced on where I was in that moment. It wasn't forced. It was optional. You could say no, in a sense. And the man came and he showed how easy it was to put the chip in. It was a machine. It was not even a big machine. It was something handheld, and he held it in his hand. It kind of was the size of the little scanner things that they have at the store, the self scanners. And he had it in his hand, and he showed how easy it was to just put it on like your wrist part, on the wrist part of your hand, like close to your hand. And all you had to do was put it near your hand, or put it on your wrist. It was like the middle of your hand and your wrist, like right there. And all you had to do was let the handheld thing touch right there, and you couldn't even feel the chip go in. It just went into your skin, and it was there. And when I saw two of the people that were with me do it, I was so sad, because I'm like, that's not right. You're not supposed to do this, but they did it anyway. And I remember when they did put the chip into to that part of to their hand, it was like their blood was also absorbed into this little handheld machine. It took some of their DNA with it, and they didn't realize it until I looked at it and I saw their blood in it, and it absorbed it when they put the chip in. And the guy looked at me and he said, do you want to do it's your turn, do you want to do this? And I said, no, I don't. I rejected it. I said no. And it was a lady that was there. I guess she was like over the guy who was giving out the chip, and she said, oh, people like you who don't want the chip have to die. There's consequences for this. And I looked at her and I said, well, before I die, if I'm the first person that will reject the chip that has, I looked at her and I said, if I am the first person who has rejected the chip and I have to die, let me die with some type of honor. Let me die. Let me die holding my Bible is what I said. Let me read one more scripture before I go and pray before I go. And she had this thing in her hand and it was about to kill me. And I remember she didn't kill me. It was like I found a way to escape. And I escaped her. And I took the gun that she had. And I made it. It was like a knockout. I took the gun that had the chips in it, in a sense. And I aimed it at her. And it was like I threw it. I guess the gun also had like a knockout mode, like a put you to sleep mode. And I remember some kind of way getting it, and I escaped and I hid. And I remember they couldn't find me. And I remember before I did that, I told the lady, I said, it's too late for y'all that got the chip. I said, it's too late, but it's not too late for me because I didn't get it. And I just remember like seeing how many people had got it and how easy it was. I remember it was a girl that I knew, a little girl. Kids were getting this chip because they was being deceived and they didn't know. They was just going along with their parents and young people. And I remember I went to this restaurant and they were introducing people to this chip, and they said, once you get this small little chip, you can get whatever you want, even at restaurants. They was like, what do you mean I can get whatever I want? They said you can get whatever you want here. If you want any condiments and whatever food you want, you can get it with this chip. You don't have to ever worry about nothing. It's what they told a group of people at this fancy restaurant. And they explained to them how easy it is to install the chip. And these people took it and they literally just, it didn't hurt. It's painless. It's literally like you just boop and then that's it. Literally less than a second, literally like a second to do. No pain. It was painless. And they did it at this restaurant. And I remember I was there. I was still there, but people didn't know that I didn't have the chip. And I remember there was like this wedding going on. There was like this wedding going on, and there was an older lady who never spoke. It was the groom's mom. He was about to get married, and they hadn't received the chip yet. But his wife, his fiance, the woman he was about to marry, did, but he didn't, and his mom didn't. And I remember his mom was mute. She never spoke. And as I'm sitting in front of her and I'm looking at her, and all of a sudden she just started singing this song, and she opened her mouth, and it was like I was rubbing maybe like some type of holy oil or something on her. I rubbed her back. It was like I touched her back. And all of a sudden, she started singing. She started singing the song. And she had never spoke for a long time. And I remember her son was just so, everybody was shocked that had known her for so long, knew she never spoke. She was mute. And she opened her mouth and she could talk. And the first thing I told the son when he heard his mom talk, I said, praise Jesus. This is a miracle. And the son and the mom started talking and they said, praise Jesus, thank you, Jesus. And when he said that, those people who were giving out the mark, and it was this woman who was just in charge of it, she was ready to kill him. And she was trying to tell him that it wasn't right. And this chip as well, even in his girlfriend or fiance in that moment, it was like it could control her emotions. It was like it did something to where their emotions were controlled as well. Like even if they tried to seek the truth and learn about Jesus, it was like it was a switch in them that wouldn't allow them to do it. It was just like, no, you can't even, it was just like you can't. She, every time, I remember she came to the woman who gave her the chip and she was like, I feel like this. And she was like, no, you don't feel like that. You feel like this is what you're supposed to be doing. And the girl, the woman who had the chip would flip and do exactly what she said. It was just, it was so much. And I just was like, oh my gosh. Just like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, I literally just woke up and I just had this dream and I had to record it right away because I didn't want to forget nothing. I didn't want to forget anything, and I just prayed that everybody would wake up. We don't even understand what's going on right now. We don't even understand what's going on right now. I've had so many dreams about things that are to come on this earth. And sometimes I was afraid to say it because I didn't want it to come to pass, but it was already shown to me. So I'm going to reveal another thing to y'all. There are going to be robots, these AI robots that they put in hotel suites. And if you want to sleep with them or have sex with them, it doesn't have to be a person. It can be anything you want. An animal. You can change the skin color. It can be a customized person. It can be two people. It can be, sad to say, any age. You can order these people just like you would on it's on like that McDonald's tablet that they have inside where you can self-order. It looks just like that. And you can order people to come to your hotel room and sleep with them any kind of way. Any kind of way. People, animals, whatever. Man, female, whatever. And they come to you and they deliver it to you. It wasn't like actual people now that I'm really realizing this stuff. It was like this AI crap. It's so many things that is about to happen, and if we're not ready, we are going to be left. In all of the videos that are made, all of the things that are spoken are, Lord willing, still here when all of the people of God are gone. This is so sad. And I gotta cut this video because I'm so emotional and I just feel like I gotta pray. But I just pray that this opens the eyes of a lot of people because what I just saw was really sad.